Hi there, I'm going to do my review for Widows. So Widows is the new film by director Steve McQueen, who's best known for making 12 Years a Slave. And this is an interesting little crime heist movie that really excels in a lot of little ways. It really exceeds expectations, but it is a very solid and watchable film. The main thing that really is impressive in this film is the wonderfully drawn characters, who are instantly interesting, they're well developed, and they go through great arcs, which is probably why the film also has a fantastic ensemble cast. In the main roles are Viola Davis, Michelle Rodriguez, Elizabeth Debicki and Cynthia Erivo, as well as those fantastic leads in supporting roles as acclaimed actors such as Colin Farrell, Brian Tyree Henry, Daniel Kaluuya, Carrie Coon, Jackie Weaver, Liam Neeson and Robert Duvall. And they all turn in great performances. That's not even to mention the fact that even the tiny roles here are filled with many recognisable faces. The veteran actors all do really well here, with particularly Davis and Neeson providing strong, sturdy performances that are clearly rooted in strong experience in the field. But I actually think the real standouts to me were Elizabeth Debicki, who basically stole everything she was in, and Daniel Kaluuya, who basically provides the film's most terrifying moments and the most memorable moments. Daniel Kaluuya is really scary in this film, and his performance is intense, and he really is a sadistic character in this film. Widows follows a crime gone wrong in which all the criminals are killed, and the wives of those criminals then have to finish off their work, basically, to get the money that the criminals owed people. And it's that kind of thing. And then from there we get into a whole bunch of other topics. Because Steve McQueen is directing this, it quite clearly has his very deliberate slow pace. He's known for making slow paced films, and this is clearly a film which is artsy and definitely something that is made by someone who wants to make a slow paced stylised film. As a result, it's quite slow burning and it does take a while to get going. I think the first act of Widows is a bit tough to watch. It's a bit dull at times, and it only really picks up in the final act. The final act though is amazing. The final act of Widows is fantastic, and it basically provides the satisfying ending that we want to this sort of crime movie. The film's emotional beats are pretty vague and generic, but the film is also ambiguous just outside of that. The plot itself is left a puzzle, and there's definitely plenty of pieces only implied and never explicitly filled. It's certainly a film which is never clear cut. The themes here touch on things like corruption. There's also other issues which are mentioned in minor ways, stuff like police brutality and interracial relationships, and these kind of things also play out. But I don't think the film is a particularly deep film. It's a very strong character piece though, and it's definitely rooted in trying to examine these characters who are in a very tough and difficult scenario. I don't know if Steve McQueen's style is best suited to the film necessarily, because it is a very slow film. He certainly does an effective job here, but he certainly hasn't made a film which I would call a real heist movie. It has a lot more drama and character interaction than a big crime set piece. The other thing that's interesting is that the characters here aren't committing crime for anything besides survival. They aren't doing it for their enjoyment or for necessarily monetary gain. They're doing it essentially to survive in the scenario that they're presented, and I find that an interesting dynamic that very few heist movies use really, so it's something different. But overall, Widows is basically just a very sturdy film. It has a great cast who all bring their best to the film. It has an interesting story. It's a little ambiguous, a little vague. The style doesn't necessarily always work with the film, but overall it's a good style. I think it basically across the board is an effective film, and something that I think is worth checking out if you're interested. So Widows is a good film, I would say. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but it's certainly well put together. So that's what I think of Widows. Have you seen Widows? I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have, so please leave me a comment. If you like this review, please give it a like. If you want to hear more of my reviews, you can subscribe. If you want to read more of my reviews, you can follow me on Letterboxd or Twitter, links in the description. Thank you for watching, and Widows, it's a good film.